Before you throw a leg over that bike, I'm running through the 8 mistakes that catch out nearly every single learner. Stick with me to the end because tip number 8 is the one that genuinely keeps riders alive. You do not want to skip it. This is Urban Street Rider, let's get stuck in. So your bike goes exactly where your eyes go. Here's why that's terrifying for new riders. Right, mistake number 1, the classic, and it's common sense once you understand it. When you're new to biking, your brake's doing 1,000 different things at once. Clutch, throttle, mirrors, road signs. That white van sat 2 feet off your back wheel. See your eyes drop. You end up staring at the speedo, your hands, the road right in front of your front wheel, because that's what we do when we're nervous. We fixate on what's close. But here's the thing about motorcycles. They go where you look. Eyes 10 feet ahead. Your mind's a mess of little corrections. So eyes 15 to 30 metres up the road, scanning through the bend. Suddenly you're smooth, balanced and flowing. It's called target fixation. Stare at that pothole, you'll steer right into the pothole. Sounds mad, but it's just biology. So how do we sort this? Firstly, scan the horizon on the straights. Look through the corner, not into the middle of it, and let your peripheral vision handle the speedo. Cones in a car park, practice looking where you want to go. But even with your eyes sorted, most beginners are still fighting the bike with their hands, and that's mistake number 2. White knuckling your bars is exhausting. You are making the bike harder to ride. So number 2, the death grip. Adrenaline's pumping, every bump feels like a fight. So what do most new riders do? Clamp the bars like they're hanging off a cliff edge. It feels safer, but it isn't. Steering goes twitchy, wrists ache, you overreact to every little wobble and gust. You end up fighting the bike instead of working with it. 10 minutes in, your arms are knackered and your shoulders feel like you've done a session down the gym. Riding isn't about brute force, it's about feel. Your hands guide the bike, they're not a joystick. Real control comes from your core, your hips, and your knees clamped to the tank. So try this, hold the throttle like you're cradling a baby bird, that's right, a baby bird. Firm enough to keep it steady, gentle enough not to squash it. And do the wiggle test, if you can't wiggle your fingers mid-ride, you're gripping far too hard. So relax those shoulders, breathe, let the bike settle underneath you, sort your grip and your steering gets lighter instantly, which matters massively when it comes to the next bit, because it's the one that actually stops the bike. Your rear brake is backup, not your main stopping power. Here's what actually stops the bike. So number 3, we're talking about the rear brake, the rookie's best mate. And in a panic sometimes, their worst enemy. It feels safe because it's a familiar like a bicycle brake, and the bike slows down without pitching forward. But here's the hard truth. Your front brake does 70 to 90% of the actual stopping work. When you brake, your weight shifts forward, the front tyre gets the grip, the rear loses it. Lean on the rear alone and you're stopping with the wheel that's got the least grip going. The rear does have a job, tight U-turns, filtering through traffic, a bit of stability and in mid-corner, but new riders panic stamp that rear brake in an emergency. It could lock up and skid, and that's how bikes go down at completely sensible speeds. So squeeze the front brake, don't grab it, smooth input, smooth stop, find a car park, practice emergency stops, feel the ratio that actually slows you down. Get your braking sorted and you're stopping properly. There's something even more basic as well that most learners never check, and it's costing them their grip on the road. 2 patches of rubber the size of your palm, that's all that's touching the road. Here's why tyre pressure matters that much. So number 4 is tyre pressure. Boring, I know, but your tyres are the only thing touching the tarmac. Not your suspension, not your engine, not your ego. 2 small contact patches keeping you upright at motorway speeds. Pressure's too low, you get sluggish steering, less grip, faster wear. If it's too high, you get a harsher ride. Smaller contact patch and worse braking. Uneven pressure between the front and rear, the bike handles like it's had one too many down the pub. I've seen new riders, including myself when I was learning, blame your own skills or blame the bike when really the tyre pressure was 10 psi down. So the way around this, check it weekly, especially when you're new and you don't know what normal feels like or you've got a new bike. Get a digital gauge for only a few quid from eBay. Find your bike's recommended PSI, it's on the swing arm sticker or in the manual. Don't guess it. And remember, cold weather drops pressure. If it's around 4 degrees C outside, check before you ride, don't assume. The check takes about 2 minutes. It's easier than pulling your gloves on and it can genuinely save your life. Sorted your tyres now? Brilliant. Let's talk about the biggest mistake people make before they've even left the dealership. That shiny 1000cc superbike in the showroom. Here's why it'll wreck your confidence before you've even started. So number 5 is buying the wrong bike. You walk into the dealership, you spot the big shiny litre bike or the chunky V-twin cruiser dripping in chrome, and your heart says this is the one. Your skill level though is screaming otherwise. Too much bike too early is one of the fastest ways to fall out of love with riding entirely. It doesn't matter how tall or strong you are, if the power delivery isn't smooth or you panic and grab a fistful of brake, things go sideways very fast. Loads of new riders buy bikes that are too physically big for them. Can't flat foot it at the lights, can't back it up as slow, tip it over in the car park and realise this thing is proper heavy. So what to look out for in a bike? A manageable engine. When you're new, 300 to 700 should be enough for most beginners. A forgiving power band, lower seat heights, lightweight chassis, solid starter bikes over here are Kawasaki Ninja 400, Honda CB 500X, Yamaha's either MT-03 or 7, Suzuki SV650. These are the gold standard for beginner bikes, and a lot of bikes that people train on as well, that the training schools have. So you're not proving anything jumping on a 1300cc muscle cruiser or a 200 brake horsepower superbike straight out your Mod 2. You're not marrying your first bike, you're just dating it. Learn what you like and then upgrade later. Right, so hopefully now you've got the bike sort of good. Let's talk about the kit that actually keeps your skin on your body. Okay, so it's 35 degrees out there, like it has been in the summer this year, and you're tempted to ride in shorts and trainers. Please don't, and here's why. So number 6 is about ignoring your gear. It's a boiling hot day, you want a quick ride across town, shorts and trainers feel fine. That's your rookie brain talking, and every experienced rider will admit that they've had it once too. The road doesn't care how far you're going or how hot it is. Come off at 20 miles an hour and you'll know straight away whether you're wearing proper kit or just gambling. I've done it myself. I came off on some mud at 5 miles an hour, and even then the kit doesn't help you really. When you put your arm out and crack your collarbone, you're off work for 6 weeks. So think seriously about getting some proper kit. The basic kit: helmet, ECE 22.06 rated, full face if you like having a jaw, jacket, abrasion resistant textile or leather with armour, gloves, hands hit the ground first every time, so you need really good gloves with sliders on them. Trousers, proper riding jeans, armoured textile, not gym shorts. Boots, the best ones are the ones with ankle protection. They should be coming over your calves. They need a solid sole, proper motorbike boots, not a knackered pair of old trainers. And the other thing to think is, don't fall for. I'm not going fast. Most crashes happen in town. Most injuries happen under 40 miles an hour. Skin against tarmac. Tarmac's going to win every time. You're going to leave your skin on that tarmac. Gear's moved on massively. You've got armoured hooders nowadays, Kevlar lined jeans, breathable textile jackets that don't make you look like a Power Ranger. Proper bikers wear gear because they've come off before. 5 minutes of suiting up beats road rash every single time. Right, so you've got your gear sorted, but there's a skill almost nobody practices, and it's one that shows whether you can ride or not. And so you've passed your test, you can ride in a straight line like a champ, but can you U-turn in a tight side street? So number 7 is slow speed control. You've nailed your training, you can shift through the gears, hold a cracking line on a fast road, but can you U-turn in a tight alley? Turn into a driveway without looking like a newborn giraffe? Back into a slanted parking space with any confidence at all? Most new riders can't, because slow speed control is one of the most ignored, most important skills going. Speed can hide mistakes. Fast, the bike feels stable, wants to stay upright. Drop under 10 miles an hour and suddenly it's twitchy and wobbly. This is where the real skill lives. Balance, clutch control, a bit of rear brake finesse. So get better with, like I mentioned before, an empty car park, cones, couple of water bottles, mark some chalk on a car park, do some figure of eights, the stuff that you did in your Mod 1 test. Tight U-turns, slow riding without dabbing a foot down. And the golden rule, do a little dragging of the rear brake whilst feathering the clutch. It steadies the bike instantly. And look where you want to go. Even more important at low speed than high. You'll dab a foot, you'll stall, you might look a bit daft in front of strangers at the petrol station. Who cares? Every rider you admire started exactly here. Nail those slow speed skills and you're properly capable. But there's one mistake that catches out riders at every level, new and experienced, and it's the big one. Mistake that actually could kill riders, and it's got nothing to do with your bike. Number 8 is the big one, the one I promised you at the start, riding beyond your skill level. You're out with mates on a group ride, weather's good, roads clean, the pace picks up, suddenly you're into corners faster than you're comfortable with, chasing the group, breathing tight, grip stiffening, your brain screaming, slow down, and your ego's saying, don't fall behind, don't fall behind. That right there is where new riders come off. It's the most common, most avoidable mistake in the book. So there's one thing to remember when you're out and you're new and you're with your mates even, you've got nothing to prove. Motorcycles reward humility and they punish ego every time. The best riders aren't the fastest, they're the smoothest, the calmest, the ones who genuinely know their limits and stick to them. Ride above your ability and you target, fixate, panic brake, mid-corner, stand the bike up when you should be leaning in, and any one of those can put you on the deck. So here's the good news, you don't have to keep up with anybody. Any group ride worth joining is one where people wait at the next stop, where nobody cares if you're a bit slower, where the only rule is ride your own ride. You want to go faster than the corner eventually? Learn body positioning, take an advanced course, learn proper throttle control, earn it over time, don't force it. Every fast rider you admire started out exactly where you're stood now. They just didn't rush it. So that's your 8 mistakes nearly every rider makes in year 1. Here's the secret though, almost every experienced biker out there made at least one of these, probably several. The difference is they learned, they adjusted, they kept turning up. Do that and you'll be absolutely sorted. If you've got one of your own to add, stick it in the comments. Ride safe, ride smart, and I'll see you out there. Tips like these are in the accompanying book. It's called Learn to Ride a Motorbike, Real Answers for New Riders. It's on Amazon. It's only a couple of quid, so give it a go. The link is in the description. Cheers.